2022 at 6:01 p.m. And we're going to start our Selectmen's meeting. Can I have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. So the first thing on our agenda is the Board of Health. And you guys wanted to talk to us about something.
Yeah, so thanks for having me.
Is it just you tonight or anybody else?
It's just me. I got the blessing at our last board.
Okay. So again, identify who you are, what your position is with the town, and I'll go for it. Okay?
Okay. You want me to wait for Derek to get set up?
Do you need time for it?
No, just go ahead. It's okay.
Okay. So I'm Brianna Dunn. I'm the Board of Health Admin Assistant, and I am here to talk to the Board of Selectmen tonight about textile recovery. And I just wanted to give you a heads up about the hazardous waste thing. So obviously got a little head start on that. Hazardous waste event is happening the 27th of July. We have 22 households signed up so far. Not ideal, but we're gonna push it a little more next week and hopefully get a few more households signed up. Before I get too ahead of myself, I have some papers that I would like to share if you guys would like a copy of everything.
Absolutely.
Is that okay? All right. So, Karen, I'm gonna bring one for you, but I'll make you a copy to look at it, or you can look at mine.
She'll probably
I'm not
just
gonna
take one
go
of
over
ours.
this with you guys tonight. It's just for you to refer back to if you want to check anything out. Jim?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So, November 2022, there is going to be a new waste ban in effect for textiles. Not all of our residents use the transfer station. We got an advertisement from CMRK Inc. I do not know what it stands for, but their slogan is Clothing with a Conscience. I put it aside on my desk for a little while, and then I decided to give them a call one day when I had a little bit of time. This company is not your average textile recovery company. So Planet Aid, Salvation Army, they do a lot more than the companies that we're used to seeing advertised. This company will go door to door to residents' households by means of scanning a QR code, calling, texting, sending an email, and they pick up more than just textiles. They'll do shoes, textiles, small household items. They actually ask that residents do not drop the small household items off in the bins just because, you know, they get broken when they get dropped in. I should have brought myself water. When you sign up with them, some of the things that they do, they provide you marketing material. So they'll advertise you in newspapers. They'll give you a link to your town website. That link, they will also personalize for you. So if you're having like a pancake breakfast or, you know, the hazardous waste day, they'll do a small advertisement on their page that's linked to our town page. The RDP grant that we do, that's the grant that's funding the hazardous waste day. They provide you educational materials and also those same materials in different languages. Those are more points on the RDP grant that we don't currently get, but they would provide that to us free of charge. They'll customize bins. So right now the bins, they're all light blue, but they'll put the Town of Warren's logo on there. They can make it say whatever you want to say. So the Town of Warren is helping with textile recovery and the funds go towards the senior center, or, you know, whatever you want it to say. And that's the other thing. You do also recover funds from this. It's not a lot of money. Nobody's going to get rich doing it. But other companies do it. So next to the laundromat, I don't think that is one operated by the Town of Warren. I might be wrong. I don't think Warren is currently getting any funds from textile recovery. We have a bin at the transfer station, but that is solid waste solutions bin, you know? So I'm here basically asking if the Board of Selectmen would maybe review the documents that I've given you, take it into consideration. I did go out and meet with this company today in Northborough. I went to their facility. I met with the director of sales, and the director of operations. They're more than willing to come out. They wanted to come out tonight, but I said, let's let them digest the material first. But ultimately, I do believe it would be the Board of Selectmen who would have to give us the permission to place bins on town property. And that would be, you know, kind of the next step. I'm kind of thinking, where could we place these bins where people would be apprehensive to dump? Another benefit to this company specifically is that they are responsible for any dumping. So if you have somebody go dump stuff and you give them a call, they say in their contract 24 hours, but their goal is 6 hours. Even if it's material they don't take, so TVs, car seats, things like that, they'll come and take it at no cost to the town. So I think it's a good deal for everybody.
And we get 7 cents per pound?
Yeah, so it's not a lot, but we get nothing now.
Yeah. Where are you thinking about them being put?
Well, I was thinking the police station, but I don't think the police station has a spot for it right now. I was thinking I would like to get one in Warren and West Warren. I know that for sure. I was thinking maybe the Council of Aging in West Warren. Maybe people would be a little more. I don't want to do the parks because, you know, people would dump in the parks. Downtown Warren, maybe by the Common or somewhere near there. I have to work that detail out a little bit because I don't want people dumping. Even though Warren isn't going to pay for it, I still don't want it to be an issue for the company that we work with. I don't want it to be a service they give and something we get. I would like it to be kind of like a partnership because they also do a lot of underground work on their own. So it's a good resource to have around. They work with battered women, big brother, big sister, those things. If we, you know, they're just kind of there. Today they had a big truck with dry goods they were sending out to a village somewhere that, you know, just needed a little extra food, and that's not even what they do. You know, they were just helping out. So.
How big are the bins?
Standard size bins, so like the same size that we have next to the laundromat here in town.
The
Yeah.
Salvation Army bins and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they'll give us as many as we want. So I told them we would probably start off very small, 1 or 2, and they were okay with that.
I would think if you put it in a very public place, then it's gonna be harder for people to dump stuff. Because
Right.
it's just, so maybe
It's
downtown,
kinda-
near the old town hall somewhere, I don't know, might be a good idea.
Yeah,
There's no real space to put it there though.
Well, where the poison ivy is. You know, that section.
That view to the river?
Yep,
Why would you cover up our poison ivy?
it is nice, it's a nice
It's
plant.
foliage.
Just don't touch it.
One second. Do you have anything else?
no, that's my spiel for you guys.
Maybe a bin back here in the parking lot?
Yeah, I was thinking this would be a,
No, I wouldn't put it back there, I'd put it up here,
Yeah, up here.
right where Jim parks.
The
I don't think I'd put it right there because there's a house right there.
Yeah.
Maybe on the other end,
Mhm.
and just have the individual with the state vehicle parked a little off to the side. But it could probably be put in here. We might wanna put a surveillance camera up just to monitor it. So, again, you know, it's not being abused,
Yeah,
although
maybe.
they clean it up.
They will clean it up, and, you know, they gave us a couple of, I also work in the Brookfield Board of Health, so I went with a chairman from Brookfield, so, when I say us, that's who I'm referring to, but they gave us a couple of examples where, you know, they work in some other larger cities, and they do have the dumping happen. I mean, it's something that's gonna happen no matter what, wherever you have a bin, really, but they aren't upset about it, they know it's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, a surveillance camera, we could do something like that. I don't think that's really a step that many people have taken, so they would probably be stoked about it, but I don't wanna set this up as something that's gonna cost Warren any extra money, you know, so. But, yeah, so, all in all, if you guys decide that you would like to move forward with this, I can ask them to come out, or I can pass along some contact information so they could come to your next meeting if you wanna speak to them directly.
Do you wanna talk to them more?
Be fine if they wanna come out, sure.
Can you have them come out and talk to us?
Yeah, yep.
That'd be great.
Next week, the woman that does a lot of the sales, she was unavailable, but the following week, she said she'd be available.
We have a meeting the following, right?
We don't have a meeting on the 21st,
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Whatever the
it
following
would
is.
need to be the 28th.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, if you can see, if they can come to the 28th to meet with us and
Sure.
talk about it.
6 PM, the time doesn't really change, right? Okay.
6 p.m.
And that was all I had for you guys, unless you have
That's it?
any more questions for me.
Do you have any questions?
nope.
Jim?
Nope.
Okay.
Open to the public? Joe?
Joe Conrad, resident. I think I could suggest maybe in front of the basketball court at the Warren Fire Station, and maybe in front of the Warren Senior Center.
I think there already is a box at the,
There's 2 boxes at the fire station
Fire
already for the
station.
books. We had talked about this. My fear is that if they do dump there, we're gonna lose our brush truck bay overnight like that. So, because the books, where you have to position them, my fear was if we got rid of one of the boxes, I was willing to take one on, but having 3 there would be that would be a little much. And I'm afraid with this particular box, just because of our parking lot, if they do dump some large items there, we could lose one of the bays and go on a call, and all of a sudden we have something, a couple of large bags in front of one of the bays of the truck. So I'm willing to consider it, but it's just, we already have 2 bins there for books, so.
Books are one of those items that often get wasted, so I didn't know there were book bins until you had told me. What I see throughout the transfer station and when I, went to this facility, I think having the couple of book bins there is actually a really good idea, and they should
haven't been
just
a
stay
problem.
there.
They haven't been a problem. We do have people come in quite a bit and dump
Well,
them off.
exactly,
so,
they
I
know
mean,
they're there, so
yeah.
just I wouldn't
but these guys
ask for
take
them to
books,
switch
right?
out. They do, but for whatever, I don't know who has the books there, but Warren's probably established some sort of a relationship with that company, and these folks don't need to be exclusive, so I don't wanna stir the pot too much in asking for this company to come in, at first. If it's a service that's working out and people like it, then maybe take a book bin from the fire station and switch it out, but at least for me, I wouldn't ask for the town to stir too much up first. We're just beginning to work with them, so.
Okay. Cool. Did you guys have any questions? Chiefs? Chairman? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very
guys.
much. All right. Next thing is discussion on what we can do with the Quabog levy. It has to get back in compliance. We did get the Corps of Engineers inspection back, and they noted some things on there that we do gotta fix to get us back into compliance. The problem with not being in compliance is if anything happens to the levy, the Corps of Engineers will not cover us. So the town would be responsible for repairing the levy. If we get back into compliance and the inspection shows that we are in full compliance with them, if anything were to happen to the levy, the Corps of Engineers would pay the costs and fix the levy. So it's very important for us to be back in compliance, because losing that levy could be at a significant cost to the town. So, yes, sir.
I just want to be clear. If the levee fails and the water goes over and it damages private property, we also are liable for that. So it's not only repairing the retaining wall, the levee, but whatever, if it fails, whatever it causes, correct?
I don't know for sure about that. I don't know if that would fall under an act of nature and be the homeowner's insurance or the property owner's insurance that would handle that, or if it would fall under the actual levy, because again, we have weather events, things happen. I think this is more towards the actual levy and its condition, and if it begins to fail, the town would have to be able to bring that back into compliance. And that could be millions of dollars, which we obviously don't have. So it's in our interest to get the levy back into compliance on that. And a lot of these things, some of these things that they've noted in there are not really our responsibility, but we do need to do some research and do some enforcement, as far as with, dirt that was removed to expand a road back there on the property, by one of the tenants. That dirt in that surface area needs to be removed and the dirt needs to be replaced, because that was actually supporting the levee wall on that side. And by removing that dirt, there was a fear of compromising the levee wall along the side. And things like sandbags, stuff like that. And I know Jeremy's here, he can help us out a lot with a lot of this stuff and too, and helping us discuss on what we can do. But that's a pretty much a brief synopsis of what it is. Do you have any questions?
I guess, how do we start working on this, right? Do we hire somebody who's,
Well, some of it is inspections,
yeah,
because they have to do inspections on the pumps. In building 7, there's a pump that needs to be inspected in there, and some of this stuff is also having somebody go out there as far as with the, as far as operational stuff and exercising valves. The valves need to be exercised, was it every 90 days to ensure that they work, and if they need to be oiled or lubricant needs to be applied to the valves to keep them moving freely, or if there's any debris around it or inside the overflows to clean that stuff out. Some of the other issues were vegetation along the levee, clearing out some of the vegetation in that area. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. One of the big things, which is absolutely out of our control, is the bridge. Because the bridge was put in by DOT, and DOT did not work with the Corps of Engineers apparently, and put that bridge in. And they had concerns with that bridge being there, and bringing that into compliance with the levee. So there's a few things in there, and some of it is, some of the property owners that are over there at the mill complex, that there's a gate there that allows water to come in, and apparently it was for an old sprinkler system or water system that was there that was being used. There's a few pipes in there, but there was no variance applied for to open that up and bore holes in the side of the levee to put those pipes in. And because that was done without permission from the Corps of Engineers, now that has to be dealt with. So, and I don't think that's on us, that would be on the property owner, in the mill complex that has done that. They should have actually have gone and applied for a variance, gone through the town and gone through the Corps of Engineers and requested the permission to do that type of thing. So there are some issues that we're gonna have to follow up on, as far as doing that. Anything else?
I don't know, maybe we should talk to the guys who did the inspection with us from the Army Corps and maybe see what they think, how we should proceed, right?
Well, they gave us everything in writing,
Yeah.
and they said, hey, these are things you need to fix. This is not in compliance. There are certain things that that not negatively impacting, but are questionable. And there's things that we need to do on our part, and as far as, exercising valves per the O&M manual, things inside the building, building 7, they have a sump pump pit, which is severely corroded in there. There's a lot of little things we need to pick off, which I think we can do, and we do have a checklist of things we need to have, as far as with the property. Do you have any questions, Eric?
I just wonder what levy means.
I don't know. It's probably a Dutch word or something like that for something.
I think we lost our internet here,
Yeah, we're frozen.
frozen,
How long were you out?
I don't know.
No, you're
Well,
you're
Jim's
okay.
still
You're
moving up
okay.
there.
I think it's the old the one who paused. Check with your phone, the old.
Jim, are we still going?
It's blinking.
He's moving.
Oh, it was down.
Jim, can you see us? Give us a thumbs up. He's getting us.
Oh, isn't that weird?
We're just frozen on this.
Yeah, it's from the old to your PC, and then we're just looking at it over there.
It did say there was an update, so. See, it's blinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it says, an embankment built to prevent the overflow of a river. So people know what we're talking about, levy.
They have one in New Orleans.
Yeah, but we're not below sea level.
They also have one in Hatfield.
I'm gonna try to log into the meeting.
we're having some technical difficulties here.
Let's just reboot the owl. Is this you?
Let me see.
It's blinking at us.
So they're looking at us anyway.
Could be my laptop. All right, well,
You want me to try logging in?
I'm looking in
He's
here.
logged in, we'll just use Derek's.
Do you wanna plug it in now, that one there?
Sure.
Technology.
You gotta love it till it doesn't work.
Yeah, so if it doesn't work here, then it's there.
It looks like it went to sleep.
I'm just testing it. So it's good.
What about the video?
It's not- You gotta pick the owl for the camera.
You're absolutely right. Now pin that, pin me over there. There we go.
All right.
We're back. There we go, work through the technicalities here. All right.
Derek was explaining a levy.
Yeah, you explain what a levy is, so
Yes,
people know?
so, just go really quickly, it's an embankment built to prevent the overflow of a river. So basically, it's a trap, right? It's a retaining wall so the water doesn't go over and.
So this is basically the waterfall that's over by the mill complex.
Yeah.
So when people look at it, that's actually our levee. And it's a whole system of walls and how everything's designed to control the water flowing through that area. To include, Building 7 in the Wrights Mill complex, which has pumps and stuff, and there's actually water that would flow underneath the building as part of one of the control systems. So the building is actually part of the levee to a point. So there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been taken care of for a long time, and I don't think any of us even knew that we owned the levee until the Corps of Engineers filled us in, and we were all kind of surprised because we didn't even know it belonged to the town. So we do have to maintain it. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
Question?
So what's the follow-up about this? We're gonna,
Well, we're gonna talk about it and look at what we can do, and we're gonna have to try to get some funding to be able to take care of these repairs to bring the levee up to compliance. And, thankfully we have Jeremy here, and I don't know if they can provide some assistance in some levels for us, or if we have to hire out a bunch of it to go out, but, this is the initial meeting on how to address the problem. So, did you have any questions, Jim?
No, I had a conversation with Jeremy today with regards to this, and I think Jeremy's gonna fill us in a little bit.
Yep.
on it.
And Jeremy, can you actually come up front first, please? I know you like to hang out in the back with all the popular kids.
Wonderful. Yeah, so we basically started looking at what we need to get. And I think, Jim and I were discussing the small ticket items, shovels, picks, sandbags, things like that. I think we just need to put together a list with exactly what qualifies us, how many we need to have, and then essentially find a storage spot. We do have a storage container at Dean Park, which is really close by, that's mostly empty. Could be a potential spot there. We could always have put another small container at the highway department and keep the stuff in there, keep it separate, so it's isolated away from the rest of our equipment and tools. So it's just specific for this purpose. Few other things, we do have a pump that qualifies us for that sump. Needed to be 80 gallons a minute. Well, I believe the one we have is 84 gallons a minute.
Okay.
I was going to give that to over to the mill complex for building 7 for that sump. Unfortunately, our budget ran a little tight, so I wasn't able to buy a new pump to replace it, because that's the reason I was ours need to be upgraded. It still runs and works good, but it's just getting to that point where, well, if it was just maintained in one spot would be all right, but we're dragging around, putting it in ditches and stuff all over town, and it's kind of time to make sure it's a new one that's more reliable for that purpose. So that the existing one could take care of that once we replace ours. And then I also looked at some
So
of the
how much
vegetation.
does a new pump cost?
Well, the prices are moving constantly right now.
Approximately.
Around like $2,200 to $2,500. So it's not ridiculous amount of money. You can get cheaper ones, but you get what you pay for. So there's a waiting list for those. So even if I ordered it today, it'd be probably 3 or 4 months before we get it. But it's still, at least the one we have is there and functioning and can be put in that place. We did look at the vegetation around the levee, because that was a big concern.
Yeah.
And I took one of my best guys when it comes to doing tree and brush work, and he said that we probably could cut a lot of it down, but it would be extremely dangerous because it's unsure ground, it's on a dangerous slope, a lot of jagged rocks, and there's no way we could haul any of the brush out of there. We just don't have the manpower or the equipment. And ultimately, after Jim and I discussed it, it's probably a good idea to keep our people out of there. Just because if one of our guys goes down, it really affects our department a lot. And we really can't afford to lose 1 or 2 guys to a twisted knee or a busted ankle because we're cutting brush along the river. So I think that's the avenue we're going to have to look for outsourcing. I mean, there are companies out there that would take that task on. We're going to pay
You'd have to
a
go
lot.
through a bidding process.
Oh, absolutely, because it'd be expensive.
Yeah.
And then as far as maintaining that, I'm sure there's programs. I know CSX had talked about their side of the levee where the rail line goes through. They were going to continue to maintain that. There were certain applications of brush cutting and spray treatment that they could put next to the river. Potentially, I would like to say that we should look into whatever spray or whatever is allowed to be used in that situation to keep the vegetation down. Just because when we did the walkthrough a little while, a couple months ago, compared to what it looks like right now, you couldn't walk where you guys walked a couple months. The vines,
It's gotten that bad?
It's that bad. You can't go in there. It's
Yeah.
the vine, the bittersweet is just completely taken over. It's 4 feet tall and it is this tangled mess. You'd walk 3 feet, get tangled up and fall. So it's something that we're gonna, and that grows so rapidly. Even when you cut it down, it comes right back. So I think there's gonna have to be some sort of form of, consistent, maybe once or twice a year, the whole levee system gets treated. Like I said, I don't like the idea of spraying chemicals, but they do have stuff that you can use next to a water source. So, they have guys with licenses and professional equipment that can do that. So I think that's the next thing we have to look into once we find somebody to clear it all out.
Yeah.
Ultimately, everywhere I turned in the system, it's very expensive stuff. So I think really, we definitely start with the small tools and the small compliance issues. That's something we can definitely handle in-house.
We could definitely pick away at this.
Yeah.
And,
Pick our battle.
yeah, at least show we're trying.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
some of this stuff, it's just gonna be us following up with, some enforcement letters and saying, hey, guys shouldn't have done this, like the dirt that was removed out of there, that wasn't ours. That was a property owner that removed that and they need to put it back now. I understand they like to have that turnaround for the trucks there for a
Yeah.
wider sweep, but you can't take away from the levee to do that.
Yeah, they expanded their loading dock to handle larger trailers, and they
Yeah.
needed that space to be able to back the trailers in.
Yeah.
And the company, it's a furniture company now, and they're pretty adamant that they didn't do anything and that's their space, but unfortunately it's not.
It's not.
So.
It's part of the levy.
Yeah.
And we might have to, at some point, get legal involved,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna
we'll,
say,
let's start with asking them to be the good neighbor first
Yeah.
and fix it. But if they don't do that, there's no option other than to pursue the legal avenue and ensure it gets done, because again, it's part of the levy system. And they would have to apply for a variance and request that and get that from the Corps of Engineers. And right now, that's probably not gonna happen because of the way it supported that wall. So, we'll have to do that. What else?
I know that I discussed some stuff with a gentleman that does the maintenance there, in those buildings today. We were talking about the, valve systems that need to be opened and closed. He's obviously, would allow access to do that at this time. There's no issues there. It's just more of a, I think he's voiced his opinion, and I think he kind of does speak on behalf of the property owners that they're nervous about opening something that they don't know the last time it was opened, because will it close?
Well, I think we were all nervous about that when we
Yeah.
were there, like when we were
Yes.
saying, like, well, let's exercise them now, make
Yeah.
sure they work, and they're like,
Hold up, yeah, so that's,
So I know
mean,
one of the things is having it inspected prior to it being done
correct,
to ensure that we don't just open something that we can't close again.
yes, because that stuff's under a lot of concrete, so
Yeah.
if something breaks when you open it, it's very, very difficult to
And
get
not
to.
having the sump pump working correctly too,
Yeah.
and playing with valves in there, we could create a problem.
Yeah, the river's low right now, but it won't always be.
And the other ones is probably the drain valves on the outside
Yep,
of the buildings and along the property that go into the river. Having somebody clean those out, maintain them and stuff, so
yeah.
it's just a lot of tedious work. Yeah, was there anything else that you think we can
No, I mean, again, it's just, as long as we're thinking in the right direction, we're not thinking big right off the bat, I think we'll be fine. We'll just, like I said, take our time, make sure we do our investigations, we talk to the people, find qualified people to bid on possibly the maintenance of some of this stuff or the repairs. Like I said, there's companies out there that'll come in and look at these valves and make sure that, that they can inspect them, check them. There's different tech things to inspect that type of stuff. And hopefully, we can slowly get this thing put back together. The Corps will accept us moving forward. I'm sure they voiced to me that they would be very, very happy as long as we're making some progress.
Right.
So, and they want to put us back into compliance. It's not like it's something they're trying to prevent. It's something they're encouraging, and they know what it takes to do it. So they know it's something the town's not just gonna, hey, well, we're gonna borrow $500,000 and make this happen today. And they realize that's not gonna happen. So they're just happy we're interested in fixing this.
Yeah. And, a lot of that stuff, like you're saying, the pickaxes, the sandbags, all that stuff can be stored.
Yep,
And if we can get like a Connex container, I
exactly.
think you could still get them around $5,000, right?
Oh,
If you
yeah.
can get a Connex container and dedicate it,
Just for that.
levy system support or whatever, and have that there, if we have room at the highway department.
Yeah,
Have
there's places around, we can find spots that we could store that's not a problem.
We could put it there. I don't know, is there a chance we could use ARPA funds to get a Connex? Like, I don't know how many pickaxes or.
Yeah,
I think it was 10,000 sandbags or something like that,
yeah,
wasn't it?
they come in boxes.
But then we also have to store the sand too.
Yeah, that's.
We have to have
We
sand.
can say
But if
that-
you have it on site.
We can say that if I keep a certain amount of sand in our
Excess,
salt
yeah.
bin, excess sand all the time, then You know, you can fill a lot of sandbags with a pile, you know,
Oh, yeah.
it goes quite a ways, so I think we can manage that.
So is that something we could do?
Does it have to be on the levee though, at the levee, or can it
No.
be away from it?
They had requirements for certain areas, but ultimately they just wanted to make sure you had the numbers that they are requiring.
The availability of
The
the
availability.
They don't want you
within-
running to Home Depot after it's breached and
Exactly.
trying to
They,
buy
if,
these
if we
things.
had to store it at the, you know, off to the side at the park or somewhere near there, town property, as long as it's easily accessible within, you know, a few minutes time of getting to it, it's not a problem.
And I don't think the mill owners would have an issue with us storing the Connex there. If
Actually,
we
I
come
don't
to an
think so.
agreement saying, hey, it's beneficial for us to help maintain this system that's protecting your property.
Yeah,
So-
I don't think they'd have an issue with
No.
it either. They really wanna work with us, so.
So if we could do like sandbags, see if these are things that would be covered, a Connex container for storage, to purchase a Connex container. Yeah.
Shovels, pickaxe.
Shovels, pickaxes.
Stuff like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else? Was there riprap or something like that too?
Well, there were some spots along the river where they were worried about erosion through the stone and riprap. Again, they're kind of, can we get to those places? Probably, as long as the property owners allow us to drive at least some of our equipment. Because where the stone was an issue wasn't too far from access to the road. That's something that, again, we could probably make that happen over time, as long as the property owners allow us access. If not us, then we could easily pay a contractor to come in with other equipment to haul material, stone down to the side of the river there.
Do we have an easement to work on?
I don't, as far
That's
as I
the other
know,
thing, is we gotta,
Maybe we
we
need
gotta
to.
look
that,
at an
that
easement too.
needs to be clarified with all the property owners
Yeah.
around the levee. There's multiple owners.
Yeah,
And again, you really do we need permission to work through these people's properties to maintain this.
And they gotta understand, it's beneficial to them
Yeah,
that we maintain this too, because they're relying on it.
mhm.
So, I don't think anybody would give us a hard time about doing it.
I know that we have sewer easements and water easements, but I don't know if we have.
Yeah, this levy easement,
Yeah, that should have been set up when the thing was put in.
yeah, but again, a lot of stuff was done by handshake and, hey,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, thanks.
yeah, I'm
It
sure,
was
I
different-
don't believe
things
there's
were
any
different then.
paperwork that goes back to that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, Joe?
Well, now, the mill's closed about 14 years ago. So I would assume that maybe some of those valves haven't been turned in 10 years. But
It'd be safe to assume that,
when it
at
comes,
least.
Longer than that.
when it comes to an easement, now, as I recall at one time, how do I put it? The town had an easement along the entire river for about 10 feet wide along the river at one time. You'd have to look at the assessor map.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is gonna have to take some diligence to do, because a lot of those documents are probably tucked away somewhere. And we have to track them down, so.
I mean, I do remember when they made the levees. And, oh geez, they had a steam bucket loader that was parked right in the middle of the river to clean up some of it.
hmm. All right, anything else, Joe?
No.
So yeah, if we can check on easements, see if there's anything we can find out about easements, if we have anything in there. Because that could be, if we have an easement on there, and say that one particular area where the dirt was removed, and we have an easement through that area, that might have been an issue too, because they didn't ask us.
I know the two businesses own to share an easement there for access to the property. I do not know if the town's involved in that easement, so, because we don't maintain anything back there, so. But I did discuss that with them. He said that there is a shared easement where the levee was disturbed between the two different companies that own in that property, so.
Yeah. That's the other thing we gotta look at. They weren't, it didn't seem like they were too concerned about that, but it was the fact that there was no variance applied for to do that project. But they don't feel that, they don't feel that it fails them. It's not a failure.
Yeah, it's just, it's not in their paperwork, and that's a problem.
Alright, so, think we got a plan. We'll try to get some equipment, find out how many we need. You know, what the estimated amount of pickaxes and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think we need to come up with some sort of plan also to do manning. So if we did need to fill sandbags, who's gonna be responsible to fill the bags? If we gotta have like CERT team come in, or, you know, highway department, or if it's all hands and, you know, everybody in the town, if you can pick up a pickaxe and a shovel, meet us at the levee, you know? Some sort of plan to do that. Just having the bags and no one to fill them is not gonna help us, so.
So do we have any idea how long it's gonna take to become compliant? I mean, we could be 10 years.
Depends on funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the money.
So-
Because there are some things, you were working on the DOT issue, the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah, they, DOT found all their paperwork from when they did the bridge.
Yeah.
And nobody there seems to know why the Army Corps wasn't notified in this situation. I think it was one of the deals where the state said, well, we're doing what we're doing, and we didn't need to talk to the federal government, so. But they do have, I was able to connect the Army Corps with the state bridge engineer that's in charge of that bridge.
Okay.
And he did find every bit of the construction plans and what they did to the levee when they built the bridge. So I don't know if Army Corps is gonna say, well, okay, well now we at least know exactly what's there, how much they dug out, what they replaced it with, how they changed the slopes and whatnot.
Yeah.
They do have that information now, but
They didn't have that before
they
this
did,
report.
no, they did
So
not.
that might have
I
corrected, that
got,
part might be fixed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I said, I was able to put them in contact with our bridge engineer for District 2, and he was able to track that stuff down, so, which the Army Corps did get back to me, and they were very pleased that they were able to get their hands on that stuff, so. But
Very good.
again, I don't know if that affected that report or not, or it was
Yeah.
completely done after it.
I think what we're gonna have to do is, like you said, is pick away a lot of this stuff, and when they come back next year, they evaluate everything over again and see what we've actually
Show
done.
some progress.
Show
And that we
progress,
made
correct.
progress.
Correct.
And at least, you know, we could probably put an article for the next town annual or special, put an article forward, creating a levy expense account so we can maintain, so like things like vegetation, and, you know, if a sump pump goes or something like that that we need to repair, that we can have that money to do that. And at least maintain some level of maintenance to it. Again, don't think anybody thought of this in the past.
Well, so that's part of why I'm asking how long this is gonna take, because I think, I mean, we're all aware of it right now, but 5, 10 years from now, people who are sitting here need to be aware of it and maintain, either continue working on this stuff or maintain it. So we need some sort of plan for now, and then like ongoing, to make sure, like, every 90 days, those things
Well,
get,
we're gonna have to do,
exercised and.
we're gonna have to do an operational manual and identify who from the town, well,
Yeah.
first of all, what is our responsibility and how and who is gonna be, the ones to maintain it.
Yeah,
And by creating an expense account, because again,
that'll
when
help.
when the Corps of Engineers told us we owned that levy, I was very shocked because I thought for sure they owned it. And I know you kind of like, what? So that was kind of a shock to everybody to know that it was ours. And that it was out of compliance. And when they told us what would happen if we don't bring it in compliance,
Mhm.
it could be very costly to the town. So if we can create the expense account, do these little things, create, get a Conex box, fill it up with the proper equipment, to be able to do sandbags, things like that. Start looking at contracts to, see if somebody can
Yeah,
clean the vegetation, get that cleared out, and then what we need to do to maintain it. And I'm sure I'm gonna have to go in front of conservation for that too, because again, it's along a waterway.
yeah,
If anything's gonna be applied to that, or any work done within that area, even though it's part of the levy, I think we're gonna have to keep conservation and
it's all
informed.
riverfront,
It's all river. And we don't wanna be upsetting Joyce.
no.
So I think we got somewhat of a plan for initial.
Hmm.
We have a place to start. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Can you just like dig up a big pile of gold for the town somewhere?
Sure.
One of these street projects hit like just a mother load of gold or diamonds too, or something like that.
Well, if you see me disappear after a job one day and I don't ever come back, you might have think I found
I
something.
don't know where he is, but I did see some Facebook posts of him on a brand new yacht in the Cayman Islands.
Go figure.
All right. Anybody else have anything for this, the levy?
No, sir.
Any questions? Good.
Yep.
Jim?
No, sir.
I'll nose around, see what I can find.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, if you can figure out something out there for the easement from back in the history. You got all that, like, all those records. I just need them on paper, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tangible things.
it's no good in your head.
no.
Anything else, Jeremy?
No, I think that's pretty much covers where we're at with that.
Okay. Anybody from Zoom have any questions about the levies? Or the levy?
Nothing.
Facebook? Nothing? All right. Very good. We'll move on. Thank you very much for your time, John. Okay. Next thing is municipal vulnerability plan extension. You're gonna make a motion to extend it. Okay.
Yep. All right, I'll make a motion to accept the extension for the municipal vulnerability plan extension.
Second.
Till December 31st, 2022.
Okay, to December 31st, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis. Aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. Next thing is, we're gonna appoint Rich as the Board of Selectmen alternate to the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission. So I will make a motion to appoint Rich to the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission as an alternate.
Second.
All in favor?
Derek Bellis. Aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. You're appointed.
Thank you for your support.
Our pleasure. Okay, we're up for warrants and bills.
All righty. I'll make a motion to pay the following warrants. For FY '22, number 109, payroll, $42,041.43. FY '23, number 1, retirement, $499,592. FY '23, number 2, payroll, $4,534.44. FY '23, number 3, veterans payment in July is $4,803.66.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
All right, I'll make a motion to pay the following bills for FY '22. WB Mason, $589.51. WB Mason for $35.48. WB Mason for $58.30. All-Star Trophies and Awards for $50. KP Law, $822.95. Central Mass EMS Corp., $132. Easy True Value, $19.47. Verizon, $134.65. C2MA Adams 2 LLC for $920.39 and $1,249.48. Toomey Water Services for $175. Turley Publications for $119.74, and a last minute addition, Modern Pest for $92.
Okay.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
I'll make a motion to pay the following bills for FY '23. Northeast IT, $2,243. BG Mechanical for July and August maintenance, $938.33. And custom drug testing for $100.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, we're on to minutes for
I'll
June
make-
23rd, 22, and June 30th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the corrected minutes for June 23rd and June 30th, 2022.
We can only second the first set, right?
Huh?
I can only second the first minutes, not the second. because
Right,
I wasn't-
you weren't here one of those days. So I'll actually second it. I'll second it. All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. And your aye, well,
He could just not vote. We just need 2 votes.
yeah, we're good.
Okay,
You're right.
we have to disagree on something.
Yeah, can't agree all the time. Okay, so new business. Do you have any new business? Do we have any new business?
Nope,
No new
I
business?
see empty folders. No new business.
Do you have any new business, Rich? No? Greg?
No, no, sir.
Jim?
No, just in my report, no.
Okay, old business. Do we have old business?
Nada.
Okay. You know any old business?
No, sir.
Okay. I have no old business. Oh, yes, old business. I got something. Chief, both of you, you're up. Where do we stand about the active shooter for the schools? On following up with that? Identifying weaknesses, things like that.
We were just waiting till they put in their new administration. You wanted to meet with everyone, right?
Yeah, but
Yes.
did you guys get in there and check anything, see anything of concerns?
Well, they're not active right now. I mean, there's no one in the schools, obviously.
No, but
so-
this was
Back
before
when we did
then.
that, we did a lockdown drill, make sure everything's the way we wanted it, and we were making sure they were shutting the doors.
I mean, we focused on that stuff this last time around during the active shooter drill, I mean, excuse me, the Alice drill that we did last time. We looked at those things. We're watching those, especially when they have like, last couple assemblies. I think you were at one of them,
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, and made it a point to make sure that we went around and made sure that no one was opening doors and stuff. So, I mean, we're gonna continue on there. We are kind of waiting to see how this administration is going to roll out here, because we're gonna have to start we're starting from scratch a little bit here, because my guess is it's gonna be somebody from the outside, and we also have, you know, Chief O'Donnell from West Brookfield has recently retired, as you know, so we're waiting to see how that plays out, because I think that, you know, he was a very big core member of our safety committee as well, so I think we're gonna have to see where those, you know, where those pieces fit in going forward, and have some, you know, make sure that everyone's caught up to speed on what we've done so far and where we're planning to go, especially after this class we've taken, so we're working on that.
Okay.
We also did our safety committee, we have a binder that we keep with all the info. It was only I had a binder, Adam had a binder, it didn't make sense. So we had it photocopied and made copies where we're gonna keep one in each cruiser, access to it if someone goes to school. It only makes sense if I'm not in town or someone else goes to an active shooter over there, they don't have the plan.
Right.
I have it, so.
We also did lose the coordinator of the safety committee. He also, who was the assistant principal, Mr. Case, he also moved on to another school. So we've lost 3 big members of the committee itself just recently, so we're looking to fill those voids there going forward, but we will keep the board up to date.
Okay. Now, do you guys have anybody that specializes in active shooter?
I have my lieutenant that was,
He's an active shooter instructor?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if we could just follow up on that, because I don't want this dropping to the side just because the media is dropping off to the side about it. This is something that's not gonna go away, and we need to keep abreast of it and make sure that it's on the top of our lists, that we're handling it, so when these schools open, we're prepared. And at least we have plans and equipment. Were you getting anything for go bags for you guys?
Yeah, we were looking into that, and we got helmets coming
Okay.
to go with our vests that we got last year.
Now, were you able to purchase equipment for those bags, or do you need funding? Are you guys
Jim's
working on
getting
that?
not that Jim, my Jim. My Jim's getting a cost of everything to see what it's gonna be. If it's a lot, I won't be able to fund it out of my budget. It's something that we'd have to bring to.
Again,
We can work.
talk to us about it, keep us
We
informed.
were looking to meet with Jim in the near future. We're looking at some different ARPA projects in general, but that was one of them. We were looking at putting together some go bags for both police and fire and some of that stuff. So we'll have a meeting sooner than later on that stuff that we're putting together.
Okay, all right. Just don't let this fall off the radar.
Might be able to buy a bowl.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman, and I've been working with both chiefs on this with regards to any ARPA. We've been having a discussion on some preliminary stuff for ARPA, so that especially this low-level fruit stuff like the bags, we're gonna be able to pull up some money to get that to the board.
That stuff's
for you.
easy stuff.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money comparable to,
Yeah,
you know, Jeremy asking for a front-end loader that's $500,000 or something like that, you know?
yeah.
Some flashlights and, you know, things like that, and little go bags. It's small in the big picture.
But I have also been trying to keep communication rolling with the school, and I've been reaching out to chairman of the school committee. I haven't heard back from him.
Have you been getting
Wow.
any responses from the school?
No. I mean, Mr. Duff has been okay, but he's kind of, you know, he's like the temporary person right now. And
Yeah,
I'm trying to, you know,
Very
now,
concerned what's going on at the
yeah,
school.
I
right
haven't
now.
gotten a lot of communication back.
So. All right. Have you heard anything from the school?
No, but I haven't reached out, so.
Have
Just
you had
about-
any communication?
Well, just for my kids, sports, you know, things to do in summer.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we need to start really reaching out to
All
them
right.
and letting them know that we want to have conversations with them. It only benefits everybody, and we're here to protect the students and the teachers. And we need to work together and have discussions to make this happen. And, you know, I don't want to say, maybe people are busy and on vacations or whatever's happening. But, you know, we still need to talk. We still need to work things out. So it'd be great if we can have those conversations. All right. So that's it for me for old business. You good?
Yeah.
So, still good?
I'm good.
Okay. On to town administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, thank you, members of the board, and thank you, department heads and members of the public. This week was a little bit of a short week because of the holiday, but I do have some things to report to the board that I thought are of importance. We had our first department head meeting since I've been here. It's been a little over 100 days, and we had a department head meeting on this past Wednesday, and Derek was in attendance, as well as all the chiefs and the highway department supervisor. So it was a very good meeting. I thought it was a very good discussion. That was very positive. I'm happy to report that, and I think Derek can attest to that with some of the issues that were recently passed by the Board of Selectmen. And I think I'm very grateful also for the warm welcome that I have received so far with the cooperation that I've gotten from everybody here. And it's been a really great environment to work in. And I definitely am grateful for that personally. So it's been very great. And I can't thank the staff enough. So I was really excited about some of the stuff that we're going to be working on for the human resource piece of it, and for the tablet that we're going to be getting up and running. The tablet has some great technology. It's really, really fascinating stuff, really good stuff. And it's going to be a process that is a step-by-step process. You know, we're taking it one step at a time, and there's going to be bumps along the way, and it's going to take some time to get the adjustment going. But I think it's going to be a really great tool to protect everybody in town that works for the town, and I think it's a great tool for that. So I thank Derek for helping us out with that. Some great technology, and it's zero cost. So it's very good for that.
Jim, can I interrupt a second?
Sure.
Can you Derek, can you make sure your mic is set to the owl? Because people out in Zoom land can't hear very well. More technical difficulties.
Recording in progress.
There's more than one.
Shut off your mic.
There we go.
How about now?
So I'm gonna mute. So somewhere else is over there. How can
You gotta shut off your volume.
Yeah, I can do that.
someone in Zoom can say something, please?
They're all muted. It's
Maybe Jim McKeon, can you say something? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Derek?
Yes, we can hear you loud
Sounds
and
good.
clear. Can you hear us?
You're still kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
It is really hard to hear you guys, so.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of technical problems with what's going on tonight. I don't know, internet or something?
Yeah, maybe.
And one of you, we can still hear your volume.
I turned my volume all the way down. I don't know.
Yeah, Zoom
Is
doesn't
it the
allow you
TV?
to complete it.
I don't think because you
Is
did.
the volume on the TV?
Well, we gotta keep in mind that we have. on
No, the
these-
actual TV. Is it coming through the TV?
I don't think so.
There you go. Hello? No, it's still coming through.
Yeah, Zoom doesn't mute completely. Also, I think because we have at least 3 or 4 Zooms in this room, it's taking the
You good now?
bandwidth.
All right.
I turned the mic.
Hey, that's better now. That's much better now.
Okay.
So maybe with the TV.
All right, Rich.
Or
Yes,
my-
that's much better.
Or this
Yeah,
last.
it's good now, yeah.
Next time, just send us a message over the
She did.
right?
She did.
She did, okay. Good.
Thank you for letting us know.
Thanks, Carrie.
Okay.
Okay, so, continuing on with the EDA, I had met with the treasurer and with the accountant this week. to start setting up, again, some of the back of the house stuff for the EDA, the Economic Development Administration grant. We're moving right along with that. We're trying to get everything done for the back of the house with setting up our ACH with the treasurer department, obviously with the accounting department, set up the accounts, setting up an account with the federal government, the ASAP account. So all of these accounts have to be set up, and then once all of those accounts are set up, then that will allow us to continue on in the process, to start procurement process, to start the ball rolling for the project. This will open up the door for additional fundings from the EDA in the future for the town. So that process has been started. I met with both the treasurer and the accountant this week with regards to that, to get that process rolling. Also this week, we have some compliance matters from the sewer department that we're working on. And there's a form that needs to be completed, the sanitary sewer overflow public notification plan that the EPA, the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, is looking for. We're going to get that signed by our Assistant Chief Operator, Zach, tomorrow. I'm going to go down to the plant tomorrow, get it signed, get it sent off to the DEP tomorrow, so that we're in compliance with that. And again, working with our chiefs and stuff. I had an opportunity to meet with the police chief this week with regards to, we talked about just some funding mechanisms for the future, and talked about there's going to be some new hiring. There's going to be 2 new police officers in the future for hiring. There's going to be an interview. Interviews are going to be starting next week, Chief?
Yes.
Okay. The chief has invited me along for the interviews to participate and to give some input. And ultimately, those selections will be brought before the board, right, for appointments. So that process will be taking place next week.
Okay. Very good. Anything else?
No, that's about it for right now.
Busy week?
For a short week.
It was a short week,
Short
too.
week, yeah.
It was busy.
So, we still on track for, is it Ralph, right?
Ralph, yep.
August
So
1st?
August 1st,
For the
he's
sewer
got
department.
he's got to do some completion of some additional documents with Dawn. I'm just working out the logistics as to when he can come in to do that.
Okay, but you've been in communication
Yes.
with him, and,
Yes.
okay, good.
Very good. Yeah,
That'll be excellent.
we gotta keep that staffing up over there. and-
Fully staffed then.
Yeah, and again, we're trying to give them what we can for financing to be able to get things fixed, the grit screw and all that. Do we know the status on the grit screw?
So yes,
Yeah.
so that was another thing that I did this week. The grid screw, there was the sewer commissioners needed some additional verification with regards to insurance. So we sent that out. Karen sent that out this week for verification. We got it back within a day from our insurance provider. They've compiled all of the liability insurance, all of the requirements for the grid screw. They're going to compose that into the bid and the RFP process for that, and then the process will go out to bid. And Ty and Bond is working on that. So I've kind of worked a little bit with Ty and Bond's administrative assistant on that. Make sure she's got the information. So her process is continuing to moving, and the grid screw process will continue to move for procurement.
Good, okay.
Very good. All right. Anything else?
Oh, yeah, that's about it.
Questions?
Hmm.
Questions?
No, sir.
Well, thank you very much again. And again, it's a pleasure having you with the town now.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
So now we're on to comments and concerns. Okay, do you have any comments or concerns?
I don't.
Derek?
No, sir.
Karen? Jim? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a quick update, Bragg Road, I just talked with the reclaiming company and the paving company. The town of Barry had a cancellation on a road they were paving, actually 2 roads. So they'll be moving us up the list, and as of right now, Bragg Road will be getting reclaimed, which is grinding, grading, completely resurfacing. The 21st and 22nd of July, and Palmer Paving will be here on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the weather, obviously, to complete the paving. So it's been a project that's been dragging on for a very long time, unfortunately due to the weather issues we had last year. And so I'm sure the residents, I know I was speaking to a bunch of them up there, and they're very excited that it's finally getting to this point. And then from there, like I said, it's just finishing touches, finishing drainage and stuff. And then I also discussed the next step, we're going to be doing probably some road surface work on Bemis Road after that. We had some extra funds given to us by the state for winter recovery, and that works out to be just about enough money to basically, it's not a full reconstruction of Bemis Road, but it'll upgrade the road surface immensely. And that money should pretty much cover it without touching any of our other funding. So Bragg Road and then Bemis Road looks like the beginning of September.
Okay.
And then we'll be starting on Coy Hill right after that. So.
Oh, wow. Save the best for last, huh?
Yeah, and secondly too, I've been in discussions with looking for another small dump truck now, because I had a small truck that we had received from the town of Winchendon that broke down on us finally for good this past winter. And so I needed a new truck for parks and cemeteries. And through surplus, I've found a nice vehicle in the town of Greenfield Housing Authority. Very, very good condition, small truck. And came to agreement with them today for $10,000, so it's under the amount how I can purchase it, and they sent me a bill of sale today, so we'll be putting that in the works, and we'll have another small dump truck in the fleet for the parks rec and cemetery.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah, and another plow truck, so a little less money to pay out to a vendor. We can put another driver in it and take care of some more roads.
Yeah, the parks are actually looking good. I was over in Dean Park and for the concert last week, and it was looking good. There are some things that they need to fix up in the park, though.
Yeah, we
because some of those park benches and stuff,
yeah,
they're really
some
beat.
repairs. We started some repairs this week. We're redoing the wood chips in the playground area.
Yeah.
The Parks Department was able to purchase with some extra money. They had new wood chips for that. Unfortunately, the company ordered them and they didn't come in yet. So they had enough for one load, so we cleaned it out and dressed up around the play equipment. And then I received confirmation later today that they got the rest of the shipment in. So probably next week we'll be finishing that project. So the parks are we're starting to pick up some of their work and clean up some of the things that they haven't been able to do, so.
Very good. No, it definitely looks good. You guys are doing a good job. I talked to Sue Ramsey, and she was happy about it. She said you guys are doing good and it looks great. So I think this is working out.
Just a question on tree cutting.
Yeah.
I know, like they came down Washington Street, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
But there's still a lot of trees
There's
marked? so-
still a lot more to go, because there are multiple companies that are doing the tree removal for National Grid, and then we kind of pushed them to do a few more for us. And so some of the larger trees, there's a different company only handles those.
Oh, I see, okay.
So they kind of split the work up, and really that's the tree cutting between Little Rest, Bemis, Washington Street down to Route 67 is still going to be ongoing probably for several more weeks. They have a lot more to go.
Yeah, it seemed like they took really big trees down on Washington.
Yes,
So
that
it
was
must have been
the
oncoming.
stand. That was the contractor with the crane. So
Okay,
they
yeah.
have to, anything they have to crane out, there's one contractor they use.
Okay.
And the other one just does the pruning of the smaller trees.
Mhm.
So they'll be plugging away. Plus I started to mark some other trees now that we're into our new budget. Some high concern stuff some residents have come to me with, and stuff that's been on our list for a long time. So our tree company will be back in town the end of the month, and they'll be starting to tackle some of those too. So you're gonna see lots and lots of trees coming down in every direction. So stuff that's needed to be cut down for years now. So
Mhm.
it's a good thing.
And they're not just cutting down healthy trees and
No.
just to
No.
get rid of trees.
No.
It's problem trees
Problem
that are
trees.
dead, that are probably gonna end up hurting somebody and with a limb falling off or whatever,
Yeah,
so.
and that was the main goal for us, and one of the main goals with working with National Grid. Their big concern is obviously we have too many power outages in town, and they want to see Warren's power outages drop way off. So that's their ultimate goal. They're making a big push and spending a lot of money here because they don't want to have to, every time there's a big storm, they're here fixing our stuff. And they're like, we were the third highest call rating in the state.
Wow.
So for every time a storm rode through, there was only 2 other towns in the state of Massachusetts that were getting more calls for power outages than we were. So,
That's because we don't use the cell phone much.
We can't use our cell phones. See? Okay. Anything else?
I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
Touch a truck tomorrow.
oh, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna get on that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
Like
Saturday.
tomorrow?
Saturday.
No,
Friday.
tomorrow.
Friday.
Tomorrow night, 6
Friday.
o'clock.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
Oh, because they have a
Yeah, I
band
almost missed it
too.
last time
Yes,
too.
there's a
Yes, the
band.
concert,
It's
yeah.
gonna be-
So, yes, Touch a Truck and concert, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock
Yes.
at Dean Park. Me and my family went last week and listened to the concert. I couldn't get my kids out of the bounce house. And the hot dogs and everything were really good. You know, the parks and everybody did a really good job, veterans, you know, Becky Asar and Rich Demetrius and everybody, really pulled it together. They did a great job, you know, and of course, Highway cleaned up the park before and it looked good, so everybody was really happy and, you know, it was a good event. I definitely encourage people to get out and go to these events because it's definitely a family-oriented event. You don't have to worry about parking because they do open up some of the field for parking and the CERT team parks you in there. I know when they close that gate, it's very limited on parking sometimes, but they do open up the field, so there's plenty of parking that's convenient for you, okay? So definitely see everybody out there on Friday. You going?
I might, yeah. I was gonna see.
The,
Oh, Wonderland Mafia is
Yeah.
a six-piece band,
Yeah, they do a lot of cover songs.
covers,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was listening to some YouTube videos of them, and they're actually pretty good.
They're gonna have a bounce house again.
Yeah,
uh-oh.
that's Parks Department.
Yeah.
You know, that's their bounce house, so. Yeah, I tried getting in there, and they told me I was a little too old for the
Oh,
bounce
come on,
house.
really?
And
We
so
can
I just
touch the
stuffed my
trucks
face
on
with
it.
hot dogs instead.
We, the highway, we're making a showing, we're gonna bring our big equipment. So we're bringing our
Oh,
new
nice.
backhoe down, we're bringing the big loader down, and we're actually bringing the newer surplus dump truck we got from the state this past winter. It's finally finished and ready to roll out, it got buffed up today, we're getting new
Very nice.
stickers on it tomorrow morning, and
Wow.
everybody can hop in and see what it's like if you want to come for the highway department and drive a plow truck or hop in the loader and see what it'd be like to operate something like that.
So you're gonna sit there with applications as people
Yeah.
look at the
Well,
truck,
no,
hi, here,
I'm-
fill this
I'm-
out on your way out.
I'm more focused on the kids and trying to push them to, hey, don't you, when you grow up, you need to come work for the highway department. That's cool.
Recruit them early.
That's it. So these are big toys for your sandbox. Come on.
See, not every kid wants to be a cop or a firefighter.
That's right.
Some wanna drive the plow trucks and
I was the
Yo.
kid that went to the shows and wanted to climb in the big tractors.
dig big
The
holes.
biggest tractor I could find is what I wanted to sit in.
Awesome. Very
It's a
good.
good
So,
job.
yeah, it's good of him.
It's a good job too.
It is. It's actually a very good paying job, those heavy equipment operators. So, don't just look at being a plumber or electrician or anything like that, or a computer engineer.
No.
Heavy equipment operators make really good money too, so,
And better money now in Warren after the
That's
town
right.
meeting.
yes,
That's
yep.
right. We have our foreman's positions open right now for applications, so.
Ah.
Very good. All right. Is that the one for highway that I need to be posted on Indeed?
Yes.
Yep,
Okay. I'll get on that right
I sent
away.
it to you,
I know, I got it today, so,
yeah.
I know.
sorry, I got like something going on with my eye tonight or something like that. Probably got poison ivy in the eye from the weekend. So, all right, anybody else have any comments or concerns?
Are we meeting next week
No,
No.
Yes.
for the 13th or
Oh, we are.
Wednesday?
Wednesday.
oh, yeah, next week.
The week after we're not.
On the 14th, we're meeting, on the 21st, we are not.
Yeah, but the one I'm talking about is on the 13th, we have like a site visit, one in.
MVP, we're doing the mobile tour.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that's the 13th. There's a 10 o'clock tour leaving from the senior center, and then there'll be lunch after that. And then if you can't make that and you want to come in the evening, it'll be a 6 o'clock tour. And we'll show you around town and show you some of the high-risk, vulnerable spots in town where we have a lot of issues with flooding and erosion. And some of the sites are pretty beautiful right now, going up on top of the mountains. So it'll be a nice ride, and maybe you'll see some parts of Warren that you've never seen before.
So understand this is open to the public?
It is.
Very good. I'll probably be on that 10 o'clock ride. So, I'm off all that week, which is great.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, I finally get a vacation. I'm not gonna say too much about it because it might take it away from me. Okay. Any other comments and concerns?
No, sir.
Okay. Did I have some? Well, we could touch on that. Anybody in Zoom world have any comments, concerns?
Nope.
No? Okay. Facebook?
We can't, we don't let them
Okay.
do anything.
All right, so continuing on, correspondence. Do we have correspondence tonight? No? Okay. We should probably talk about this.
Yeah, and I have a correspondence, so.
Okay. Oh, you do your correspondence before I give bad news.
So, okay, yeah, Jeremy kind of touched on this. We did get an email from a resident about Bragg Road and the 1+ inch of rain, Saturday? It fell in an hour. So I ended up calling her, just to talk to her, and she said she had talked to you and everything was all, she was satisfied.
Yeah,
so.
they just were because the road's under construction, all the new drainage we put in, you can't see it, it's under the ground. We plate it to protect it from filling full of mud and rocks. When we have, if the drains were open during the storm Saturday, we'd have 1,600 feet of drainage pipe and 12 catch basins stuffed full of mud right now. So unfortunately, the road took a beating Saturday night, but when you get 1.25 inches of rain and 1.5 inches of rain in 20 minutes, bad things happen. So, but ultimately, I actually believe the road stood up very well, considering the place of construction where it's at. It's the most vulnerable right now. So, but like I said, I got good news today that they're coming a little earlier than they thought. So, hopefully, we don't get any more very large storms between now and then. And then, but yeah, like I said, they had some concerns just about the drainage capabilities, because obviously they saw us there working all this time, but then they saw no improvement with what was going on when it rained like that. And that's when I made it very clear to them. I says, I can't do that now. I says, we'll wreck everything that's in place. So I said, unfortunately, it's gonna have to stay like this. We had hay bales and erosion control in place that caught 99% of the sediment. So I was happy to see that. Everything worked just how it was supposed to. No driveways got washed out or flooded, and the drainage system stayed clean. And where the drainage system exits into the woods stayed nice and clean too. So that was a positive thing. Ultimately, everybody's happy now. They kind of know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
Very good. All right, I'm gonna touch on the letter we get today. So, we did get some correspondence, and this is regards to Cornerstone Bank. We got an answer from the Massachusetts Division of Banks, and this is from the Commissioner of the Banks, Mary L. Gallagher. We did meet with her previously. If everybody noticed that the bank did not close, and it took a long time, because behind the scenes, what a lot of people didn't know is we were working issues, and we're trying to keep it out open somehow, or get some limited service, or get something for the residents. And we were working with the Commission of Banks and the bank president over at Cornerstone, Mr. Tallman. And we met with Mr. Tallman last night, and had another meeting with him and one of his representatives. And we had some discussions. We may have come to an arrangement. Hopefully, it still stands. Unfortunately, we also received a letter today at 5:30 p.m. From the Division of Banks, and they approved the closing of the bank. It's very rare, and actually I don't think they've ever said they couldn't close a bank once they'd gone through the process. We were trying to keep the bank open with limited resources. Their concern is they were already at very limited resources, and anything else would go beyond safety of bank employees, because they couldn't go down to any further by reducing staff. We're hoping that we still can maintain an ATM in the town, but there's some issues behind that we need to resolve. So we are working with the bank president to at least maintain an ATM in the town for that. But unfortunately, the Division of Banks did approve them closing, and you could potentially be seeing the bank close within the next week or couple weeks.
Yeah, we don't have a date, do we?
We don't have a date, but they did say once they get this permission, they'll be moving forward and within a couple weeks to close the bank permanently. So unfortunately, the bank is gonna be closing, and we're still exploring options. This is not done for the town. We are still trying to work the issue. Unfortunately, when it comes to Cornerstone, it's out of our hands. You know, it's a private business, it's a bank. They do have oversight by the state somewhat, but they were given their permission from the state to move forward. So, but that's what I got for that. So that was our bad news for this week. What else? There was something else that I had for.
Sewer
I had the. What was it?
The sewer department's public meeting, isn't it next week?
Yep, next, the
On the
12th.
12th.
Yep,
So the sewer department has a public meeting on the 12th.
public hearing, yep.
A public hearing on the 12th. What time, do you know?
That was 3:30.
I think it's
3:30?
It's about raising sewer rates.
Yeah, everybody would probably want to check into that because it's about raising the sewer rates. So if you're concerned about your sewer rates going up, that would be the time to voice your opinion. And, you know, if you want your sewer rates to go up, you know, that's good too. But that's gonna be discussed in that meeting, so that'll be the opportunity for you to voice an opinion.
At least the people will have the opportunity to see why they're going up, you know. It's-
Right.
It's way different when you just get a big bill and saying, hey, we're, you know, we have the need and this is what's going on, and it just happens, and, you know,
Yeah.
you agree, you disagree, but at least they give a chance to the public to really understand the process and why things happen.
Yep. Okay. That's all I have for correspondence. Yeah. So next meeting is gonna be July 14th, 2022 at 6 PM. And we'll be following up on some other issues that we got going on.
Motion to adjourn.
Your favorite part of the day.
Yeah.
I'll s-
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. We are adjourned.